That's really good to hear that your parents were, it was not like
Yeah.
you really had to sit down and it was a hard decision. I mean, it was a hard decision,
Right.
but as far as what you needed to do for your well-being, I think that was pretty clear.
Yeah.
So, and I only know this because I talked to Kupono.
Yeah.
But what Kupono said was, Monday was signing day, right?
Right.
You said. So probably Sunday night, according to Kupono, he said that you were talking to him to just get his advice, I guess.
Yeah.
And you were talking to Micah, right?
We were talking to a lot of people.
Yes, so you were talking to these two people. You have one that's on the UH volleyball team, one that's on SC's volleyball team. I'm sure you're getting other opinions too, but how much did that sway what your original conversation was with your parents?
Shoot, it's so push and pull. Like I wasn't really on one side or the other on my decision. Like I didn't come to a clear decision, but after talking to everyone like Kupono and Micah, it had me leaning like one way or the other, I guess, but it was still like push pull. I talked to a UH guy, I talked to a USC guy. It was hard for me, but I want to say like most of the sway of my decision was just from my own personal feeling for it, and then of course my parents, what they think, and a lot of because I wasn't going to SC for any money, I had to like talk to my parents, financially, like how are we going to do that, so I mean probably that was pretty hard, like not really making the decision, but like shoot, money and but when I go to UH, that's the thing, I'm on scholarship, but I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So a lot of it was like, I don't want to put stress on my parents, and shoot, if I go to USC, am I gonna like put them under some pressure with the financially and whatnot? So that part was actually really hard for me because I always think of my parents first. But throughout the recruiting process, they were great. They just like, no matter how hard it would be, they never really considered how hard it would be on them. They're just like, and I lucked out. They're just guiding me through the process. They didn't really force me to go one way or the other. Like, do what you want to do. Go where you think you're gonna succeed, and we're gonna support you 100% regardless if you're right or wrong. Whatever happens, that's what parents do. And I was like,
exactly.
So that gave me confidence to make a decision regardless of if I'm letting these people down, or my parents are just like the backbone, man. Talk about solid people.
Yes.
Most solid people I know. So that was, as much as I talked to other people, majority was my parents too.
Yes. So that was probably a rocky weekend.
Yeah,
for
it was tough for a young kid. It was tough.
Up and down. When I heard Kupono's side of it, right after he talked to you, he goes, honestly, he had no idea what you were gonna do on signing day. He goes, I have no idea. Like anyone's guess is as good as his. So then, when was it that you finally like came to the decision that you were gonna commit to USC?
Yeah, I think I made it probably the night before. We just talked about it with my parents. Like, I think my parents talked to me about like how I said, like, whatever you want to do, we're gonna back you 100%. Don't worry about what anyone else is saying. And I was like, I kind of had to have a mature moment for a little bit because I mean I don't take a lot of things serious, but obviously I had to take this pretty serious. But so I ended up making the decision, and in my head I kind of had to be like, what, this is like 100% what I want to do, and of course my parents, but ultimately I had to decide for myself and not really think about what other people are gonna think, or like if I'm gonna disappoint anyone. And that was really tough because I want to say a lot of people looked forward to me going to UH, and UH fans are ridiculous. They're so cool and they're really good. The fan base is amazing, and having to leave that is like especially like when I committed early, and then I want to say there's like other people committed early because when you see your friends commit to a school, it's like, oh shoot, I want to commit there too.
Yes.
So a lot of it was that, and but yeah, the night before I ended up making the decision, and then I just ended up going with it. After that, I was just like, whatever happens, accept it and go on with your life.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't go into the aftermath of it because I'm sure that you've gotten, like you said, tons of questions. That's probably the harder part than making this decision, is to try to explain your reasoning. But really, like what you said, just you feeling like this is the best situation for you, that should be enough explanation in itself, right? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks because they're not going to go through your journey.
No, yeah, for sure.